Welcome to a True Trident exclusive. In this video, we'll be covering the reasons why vanilla Minecraft is fun. Whenever this question gets brought up, most people have vastly different reasons for why they find survival Minecraft fun based on how they play the game. In this video, I plan to demystify why vanilla Minecraft is fun, addicting, and immersive. I plan to explain such a topic through the exposition of psychological studies and principles, alongside the most important factor of all, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So firstly, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a proven theory of motivation, stating that human behavior is essentially formed up of tiers within the hierarchy. I'll put the full hierarchy on screen right now, hopefully, if I'm not lazy. But essentially, each tier must be fulfilled before an individual can think about worrying about the next tier. Like as an example, the bottom tier, the basis tier, is essentially your needs and necessities. In the real world, that would be shelter, water, food, sleep, and all that. The next tier is safety needs, personal security in the real world, employment, resources, and health. Already, you can kind of see where I'm going with how Minecraft really goes with that, but we can there's more if we go to the next tier. So the next tier is essentially social satisfaction, friendship, intimacy, connection, all that. Here's the thing. This is why I think multiplayer survival is more fun than regular survival, because it literally almost completes the tier. So if we go forward, the next tier is esteem, which almost goes like hand in hand with social satisfaction, which includes respect, pride, recognition, strength, and freedom. Let's say that you're working on a group project with someone, and they're still trying to, let's say you started a survival world with someone. We had to make, how do I say this? You had to make food, grow food, or kill for food or whatever. Find your way through the progression. Then you're able to have a sense of pride of what you've done or created because multiplayer survival just fosters that, because someone has to be getting the resources and all that. You can't really get that in any other game. Like there's no other game aside from like very few, maybe Terraria, which is a very different type of game. It's less focused on survival. It's more like a boss rush. So I wouldn't really say that either. But anyway. The social satisfaction tier includes pride, recognition, strength, and freedom, which is essentially obtained in the context of Minecraft through the acquisition of like armor, tools, and like a firm understanding of the world. And then the last tier is self-actualization, which is essentially the desire to become the most that one can be, or most accurately, the ability to fully express your creative desires. In like a game such as Minecraft, where you can do almost anything, once you've reached the end game, it's quite clear how this aspect of the tier factors into the progression. Minecraft gives you like basically anything, the building blocks to create, and basically anything that you can make. But first you have to go through the first tiers, which really adds to the satisfaction of reaching your final like godlike state after survival Minecraft. But alternatively, I believe like once you reach that state, that's the state that many people are aiming to get, and some people may not want to go through the first stages of survival, such as like getting food, shelter, and all of that, and obtaining resources and going through the progression. So that's why some people may not find survival Minecraft fun. They may not want to take on like the metaphorical responsibilities of survival Minecraft and just want to get into the self-actualization stage immediately. They may have like no desire to get fully immersed in the world of survival Minecraft because of their responsibilities in real life, or like pre-existing satisfaction with their real world identity and existence. I know it sounds weird, but just think about that. Because like you're creating a whole new pyramid, of responsibilities on top of whatever you have in real life, if that makes sense. So already real life follows Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like you need to satisfy or at least be sheltered before you can go up in the tiers, if that makes sense. What I said probably didn't make sense, so I should probably stick to my script that I wrote that took a long time. But anyways, right, where was I? Yeah, okay. Someone who already feels like they have fulfilled all the Maslow's tiers in real life will likely not want to play survival Minecraft. Instead, opting to into creative mode, because then they can immediately reach that godlike state. Although it be without that satisfaction you get from learning each and everything in the world, and it's just essentially immediate self-actualization, which is just the ability to express themselves without seemingly have to start from square one. And then this also explains why individuals may lose interest in replaying survival Minecraft and instead go into creative mode after reaching the final tier in game. They don't see a reason to replay and re-fulfill each tier from the beginning to top again. This effect can be seen to an exemplified degree in server communities where most people have progressed to a far degree. Usually people got used to being able to self-actualize due to their fundamental basis of food, armor, and strength, and social satisfaction. They've essentially got immersed in a whole new world. And however, if the server owner chooses to reset their server at this stage and replace it with a whole new world, a lot of individuals will probably lose interest because they'll feel like they'll feel like they've lost their worth and all that, or they've satisfied such portions of their mental compass or mental hierarchy already since they've already played through the game. I guess this problem could be fixed through essentially adding more ways to progress in terms of hierarchy. Like when you go from the first tier, which is just safety, like creating your shelter and all of that, maybe there could be different ways to make your shelter. Or for example, let's say you're okay, so let's say there's different ways to obtain shelter, or maybe you have to think about shelter differently, and each time that would create a unique gameplay experience that, I don't know, maybe that could be something unique that Mojang could focus on in the future. But I see that's probably those type of things where you're progressing in each tier. That's probably the best ways to expand Minecraft, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't, but one take. Anyways, of course, since no one is going to magically delete and recreate Earth, we can't really observe parallel behavior to what happens when a server owner just resets their world. However, common traits and behaviors, such as not wanting to fulfill your needs, like food, water, and shelter, due to the tedium or feeling like they were already pursued, since you technically already pursued them, is a common phenomenon. It's called depression in the real world, and it's when an individual feels a fundamental disconnect from the world around them, unmotivated to do anything. This often occurs when an individual feels like their goals/accomplishments were taken away from them or denied from them, which, surprisingly, now hear me out, this sounds insane, but think about this. When you play Minecraft and you have no motivation to do anything, what do you call that? And what's the reasons behind that? Just think about that. But anyway, I'll call this phenomenon when it comes to Minecraft a tripression, creative, right? Obviously, since Minecraft is just a video game, the tripression is much less severe than a real depression. However, the effects on how it makes you play the game is nearly the same. You may not want to play the game, which is the equivalent of suicide, or you may choose to warble through the first stage of progression without much motivation or immersion. Of course, since Minecraft is just a video game, this behavior could simply be because the player does not want to take the world seriously or does not respect the game enough to feel an ounce of investment within the world. Moreover, I feel like the culture around Minecraft has bred a kind of weird outlook on the game, quite unintentionally. I realized that a lot of YouTube videos and content in general seem to portray Minecraft as just a goofy building game, which is a decent introduction to the franchise, but it doesn't set the stage properly for all the aspects of survival Minecraft. This description does not expose let's allude to the exploration, resource management, or cost combat aspects of Minecraft, and I feel like many individuals may feel disappointed upon first booting up Minecraft if they are immediately expecting to reach the self-actualization phase, which is another reason why a lot of individuals opt for creative mode and may feel a bit of an emotional disconnect from survival mode. Obviously, this isn't a fault of Mojang themselves. They actually advertise Minecraft as an exploration and survival game, while most people just see it as simply a sandbox and nothing more. Uh, so next point, because you're not physically there, Minecraft's world only has a mental grip on you once you choose to dedicate or respect the boundaries of your world. If you go into the world with the preconceived notion that Minecraft is a quite goofy or unrespectable game environment, then you will most likely never feel invested enough to continue playing. You'll only feel invested in the game once you have resources, once you put in the time to gain resources inside the game. You'll only, if you think about this, the more possessions you have in real life, the less you want to die. The more possessions you have in Minecraft, the less you want to stop playing, if that makes sense. Uh, so yeah. Anyways, in the end, Minecraft is as fun as you make it, like quite literally, and the game progression in itself just contains extrinsic motivators through that fundamentally appeal to your psyche via an adherence to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Nonetheless, it's your choice whether to immerse yourself in the world or not, and this puts Minecraft essentially at the fate of the community. Mojang has been working tirelessly in order to uphold Minecraft's reputation in order for it to be seen as a respectable pastime regardless of external factors. Minecraft is essentially a virtual, probably the best example of a real virtual reality where you can get all the satisfaction of your real life through a game, which is why I think it's a really good game for people to get into, just anyone, for anyone. And because of how free it is, like how boundless it is, there's many opportunities. There's always going to be opportunities for uh, expansions and mods and stuff, which are really good. So, and I think Mojang has understood this. So their recent updates have had a pretty large focus on both immersion and self-actualization, and attempting to appease both the survival-based and creative-based aspects of the community. Or more accurately, they've been making updates for people who want more ways to self-actualize, or but they haven't really been updating how you progress into each tier of the hierarchy, if that makes sense, which I would definitely hope that they do in the future. So, I think the core game progression already seems to be excellent in terms of adhering to the hierarchy, but I still think it could be improved. For example, the first tier, food, shelter, etc., could be made more apparent by making mobs stronger and letting them break certain types of weak blocks, such as wood, encouraging the player to actually tactically build better shelters using specific types of blocks, although that could inhibit creativity a bit. So that could be balanced by adding an in-game material or substance that just allows any block to not be broken, just like how it is right now. So yeah. So essentially encouraging progression to the. Would that be a good idea? I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. I don't know. Anyways, this will encourage the player to tactically build better shelters and all that. Beds could be nerfed as they allow an individual to bypass hunger completely, and I believe these minor changes could go a long way into making the game more enjoyable without breaking its original spirit. And if you're interested in seeing how the game might feel with such changes, I encourage you to check out the my mod pack that I sorted. That's basically filled with really high quality mods that fit vanilla very well actually. And it's basically my idea of a perfect Minecraft. I'll have a link in the description It's for 1.9.2, one of the latest versions and all that. All the footage that I've used for the background is from this mod pack, and I truly believe it like perfectly expands the game and reworks the progression in order to feel like much more intuitive, satisfying, and expansive and immersive. Because it puts more emphasis. It's literally called Trident's Maslow, so that should tell you anything. Or does it? It's not really a descriptive title, really, especially if you're not familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I wrote a whole description for it, so you should definitely check it out. Anyways, when it comes to all right, so Maslow's hierarchy of needs was intended to be a theory of motivation that explains our behavior in the real world. As a reminder, just in case you forgot, the developers of Minecraft has essentially created a world that fundamentally appeals to our mind and psyche through intentional game design choices that are meant to reflect the real world and its progression. That's why it's so immersive. It's essentially an extremely satisfying reality simulator due to the freedom and options that it gives you, the player, while still putting boundaries on what you can do and encouraging you to work through to finally getting to the end, if that makes sense. It's able to instill pride in the player because you have to manually obtain and get your resources one block at a time, if that makes sense. It's just due to its game design and its adherence to Maslow's hierarchy, as I said. Minecraft's world rules are already familiar to you as the player, and you're meant to work your way to full self-actualization via the usage and manipulation of the materials and entities around you. If you have any like questions about this or my thought process about this, let me know in the comments. It helps the algorithm. If you like the video, and if you want to see more like video essays, I guess like this, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the next video where I talk about the lore of Minecraft, and I truly believe there is lore, so you should like check it out. There's a bit of stuff there's a bit of stuff in Minecraft that alludes to an ancient past. There's been a trend of recent updates to have the word ancient and anything lore related. 1.16 had ancient debris. 1.17 and 1.18 had ancient ruins. The deep dark, uh, and yeah, and then archaeology has always been referred to as ancient by Mojang. And trail ruins, I think that's interesting as well. I'm not sure how it connects to everything, but it's just something to remember. But I think Minecraft is definitely trying to tell you about like an ancient past, which makes the game feel so much more alive, in my opinion. Once you start to actually see that there's somewhat of a story, in my opinion. So, anyways, that's it. That's it. That's it. The video's over. Goodbye. Please watch my next video. Bye.